Hello you guys, welcome back to another video of Fate Does, as to where I show you my experience in trying to escape the rat race, yet still not out of it. Once we do actually make that video as to where we finally say, hey, we're out of the rat race. Oh jeez, it's gonna be a blessed day. But as of right now, it's a beautiful evening. It's a Saturday evening. And you know, we finished the week's worth of work. And we're just chilling, and we decided, you know what? Our latest video got a bit of success. Let's continue the grind, because right now we have about 67 more videos to go until we hit 100 videos. So that's gonna be hard, but whatever, fuck it, we can do it. Anyways, today's video is really going to be about stop being a fucking sheep. And what I mean to say with that is, you know, I've been seeing a lot of shit online as to where, oh, there's a bunch of, 20 to 30-year-olds making a bunch of money on YouTube, or not YouTube necessarily, but they're learning a bunch of videos through YouTube to drop shipping or to become successful in, some type of online business and whatnot. And that's been really pissing me off, not just because obviously I'm not successful or, financially free yet, but it's a common thread that I'm really starting to see with people my age that are continuously falling into a trap as to where, oh, you believe this is a good path? All right, let's get you stuck into it. And hey, your life is going to be better within these next 10 to 15 years. It's like, that sucks. I know my generation is known for not living in the moment and trying to get things, so quickly, but sorry. A lot of us are starting to mentally be deteriorated with that type of mentality just because we want that success in an instant, but little do a bunch of my people my age realize is that takes time, and a lot of successful people really, have to grind, or at least financially able to just, set off their careers and become millionaires or successful, or at least have some type of influence to guide them and to show them it's like, hey, you can do this. It's like, I'm not trying to be the person that's gonna say it's like, oh, hey, this won't work, or stop trying to believe these people. It's like, no, believe them. But the thing is, if you see that it's just something you're not necessarily passionate about, then stop doing it, because you're just wasting your time. I myself got into drop shipping for a bit. I've been trying to see how it works, and I don't think it was necessarily quite for me. Perhaps I might get back into it later, because for starters, I don't necessarily have a revenue of it, but I also need to educate myself on how it works exactly. And I've watched a couple YouTube videos here and there, and I started taking some courses here and there as well. But one thing that's really started to piss me off, and that I started seeing off a bunch of other people that are trying to mentor these younger people of mine to actually go out there and make a bunch of money, is that they're always saying, sign up to this course and I'll teach you, or hey, I'll have this one-on-one with you and I'll teach you. It's like, that's really starting to piss me off, because a couple years ago, and I don't think he'll mind me saying his name, because one, I'm not that relevant yet, and two, he's a millionaire, he does not give a fuck. But this person named Jeff Lerner, about 3 figures into debt with a restaurant that he was trying to open, and now thankfully he's a millionaire, he's financially free, he gets to do whatever he wants. But I started watching his video I watched his video about 2-3 years ago, and this is before the whole drop shipping, boom, as to where lots of people my age were becoming popular. Like, no, I actually saw this before drop shipping actually started becoming popular, and I wasn't really necessarily too into it, because the steps this man was trying to guide me into is, it's like, you need to create a business, something you're good at, something you can sell. Mine was providing my talking service to people that actually need people to talk to. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know if it's going to really work. And then obviously the execution went poorly, because it never succeeded. So, I aimlessly went through life, and keep in mind, I was 18 or 19 around this time. Now I'm 20, and I'm starting to see these resurfaced methods to getting rich and popular. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's all the fucking same. It's like, people are wanting to be shepherds. That's great. The most broken people can be leaders. But to me, it's like, now I'm starting to realize leaders are the people that are actually seeing themselves as part of the group and actually having that humbleness to say, it's like, hey, I may have better shit than you, but you know what, I'm gonna act as if I am like you, so that way you can feel as if you're not alone. And that's exactly what a lot of these mentors fail to do, is that they don't have that actual connectivity to say, it's like, hey, yeah, I may have gone through this type of shit, but now, like, I'm rich and I'm trying to show you how to do it. Like, that's completely fine. The thing is, everyone's in their own timelines. So if you're telling this 20-year-old that's lost, hey, I'm gonna make you rich, well, I did it because, obviously it worked out for me, it's not gonna work out for them. It really isn't. It's gonna just lead them to think, it's like, oh, hey, how come it worked for you and you were in the same position as me, but it didn't work for me? Like, a lot of people are starting to go through that, and I went through it myself, but I'm mainly making this video in protest to all this bullshit about taking courses and self-educating yourself about, like, what to do about something that you might not even necessarily be passionate about. If you are passionate about, like, all these other things, then so be it. But if you're not passionate about, like, taking someone's course and seeing if it might work out or not, like, it's pointless. It's a waste of time. Granted, a lot of people don't know what the fuck to do with their lives, and I get that, but find something, for fuck's sake. Stop being a fucking sheep. Like, I'm actually saying this seriously because it's just so pathetic that a bunch of us are, my generation, mind you, and I might get shitted on for this, but, like, I'm seeing it with Aiden Ross too. He depends on a 40-year-old man to actually, like, be his mentor and whatnot. I'm like, dude, you have a fuck ton of followers. You have a bunch of people that are sending you money and then just watching you for doing stupid shit, doing drugs, watching TV, and fucking just gambling and whatnot. It's like, why are people inclined to see that? Oh, it's because a bunch of us are a bunch of fucking sheep. Some of you may get offended by that, but that's just the sad fucking reality, is that a lot of us are dictated upon what people are successful about, but never are we really bothered, inclined to actually make something that will make ourselves successful. No, we have to go out there, see what makes someone else successful, and then do it ourselves. And when we do find out that it doesn't work for ourselves, we get upset, and then we start jerking off again, or we start doing, or for females, masturbating, or fingering yourself, or like any other type of thing. Stop being a sheep. Stop being a sheep to this society that is trying to tell you, it's like, oh, do this so you can become successful and whatnot. Like, that's just not gonna work. You have to find something you are passionately trying to pursue yourself. And even if it does take a long time, it's like, if the world doesn't end up ending within these next 5 to 10 years, then we have time to actually do something with our lives. Why not try to do something and find out what we like doing? And I just see a bunch of wasted potential in a bunch of people sometimes, and I'm like, dude, you guys have a lot more ambition to, like, stick to who you are. You just simply need to apply yourself to what this world has to offer. I mean, there's infinite amount of money out there that you can yourself obtain, and each to their own path. Everyone is on a different timeline. My timeline is, my YouTube channel is going to take a long time to prosper, because a lot of people don't like sitting for about 15 to 20 minutes and sometimes even an hour to actually hear someone talk. But at some point, it's going to explode. And explode in the sense where, like, I actually am getting a bunch of people that are listening to my words. But that's the thing. I don't want to be part of the system and contribute to the system that's already just fucked up. Like, no, I'm making my YouTube videos to actually tell you guys, be your own individualistic self. Start figuring out the two personas that are inside you. And this is a psychology term. Well, not a psychology term, but like not a theory either, because this is, like, in some way proven already. And I'll actually try to provide a book to this video to show you what I'm talking about. But inside of everyone, there is two people. The person you first were born with, the persona that actually got to cherish those happy moments, and then almost immediately a second person is born within you to actually handle the negative and all this other bullshit, and that's what you call the survivor. And the other one, the one that's basically just behind doors, shutting themselves out from whatever is bad. And this is why when you get into a fight with someone, like, you see a completely different side of them, because this person is meant to defend themselves. Now, what I want to say with this, and what I'm trying to connect to, the, like, stop being a fucking sheep. I feel as if a person truly does get to figure out their two personas that are within them, then they can finally grasp the idea that they can be whatever the fuck they want and stop following what other people do. And mind you, again, like I'm a very individualistic person. So if I see someone like heavily relying on someone financially or emotionally or on some other type of aspect, I'm gonna be like, I don't respect you, but I'm not gonna, call your shit out. But I do respect people that maintain themselves. I do respect independency sometimes, or at least people that are emotionally in tune with themselves. And mind you, a lot of these type of people can come either broke or actually wealthy. It really just depends on your demographic. If race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, like all of that, like take that shit away. You have a soul. You have a soul that's actually yearning to get to know itself and to see how it can emerge out of the material body itself. So that's why I'm telling you, stop being a fucking sheep. Learn to actually figure out what the hell are you and how can you do something in this world that we're living in to do something with your life. And I know it sounds very vague and whatnot, but I truly am getting tired of just seeing a bunch of motherfuckers making courses and saying it's like, oh, hey, you're not going to invest this certain amount of money in yourself. It's like, no. What you should be doing is investing your own personal time to your own personal things in which you like doing. That's really it. And sometimes it makes me mad that, my videos aren't a success as much as I'd want them to be. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? This is my journey. I'm seeing a lot of people that perhaps are in my generation or people that think like me that are in other generations. They don't make a success until their 30s. And if for some reason a person that's my same age is making $1 million a year, then so be it. Sorry, it's very cold and I'm getting a bit of sinus infections. Or I'm not sinus infection, but I'm getting a bit of clog in my nose. But if there's a 20-year-old out there making what I make annually in 2 months or 3 months, then so be it. Yeah, it sucks and I low-key feel pathetic that someone my age is making that type of money, but we're all in different timelines. And I'm having trouble actually not comparing myself to those type of people because of, this reality that I'm in, and as to where I never imagined myself being here when I was 15 or 10. So be it. But, at least what I can say in this reality that I'm in right now as a 20-year-old, I've been making videos consistently, and I'm really happy about that. I never thought I'd actually have the money to invest in this little tripod and this microphone and actually sit down and talk to you guys. So, we do the best while we can. And that's in paraphrase of what Hindsight says. Hindsight is a YouTuber that I really like. We're just all trying. We're all trying. We honestly we're just trying in this world as to where it's implemented so many hard things onto us, and we're all stuck thinking that we need to reach this materialistic success in a hurry. But and I get it, time is valuable and whatnot, but I do feel as if you won't be wasting time if you're investing in yourself, whether that be actually educating yourself or pursuing something that you're already naturally good at and just applying it to the world and seeing who and what will need you and what you can actually serve a purpose to. But most of all, just stick to yourself. Like, if you aspire to be a leader, keep in mind that a leader is broken from the inside and is continuously having an upward battle to face themselves and to realize, like, hey, every day is going to be hard, but I can do it. And is going to go out there and actually be humble to the people that he's around with. So that way those people can feel some type of aspiration to be themselves and not necessarily copy you. It's great to at least pick up on some characteristics of people, but just don't be a fucking sheep and expect to validate your own shit off someone else. Go out there and do your own thing. Again, whatever that may be, go do it. Because that's literally what a bunch of people my age that are 20s, that are in their 20s, that's literally all they're doing is just, seeing whatever influencer or seeing whatever person that's made a bunch of money make a course, or just any other type of thing that they hear by ear. They literally hinge their lives to that and decides, like, hey, I'm gonna put all my eggs in one basket and just stick with this. And again, most of the times they just end up failing and feeling miserable about themselves. And I know I'm probably repeating myself a bit, but this genuinely does piss me off. And I'm sorry, I'm tired of just seeing all these courses on TikTok and YouTube about like, oh, invest $1, $5, $10 or $100 a month so that way you could become successful. It's like, no. I used to see Markiplier a lot, and now I don't see him, but you know, I got to know his past. I kind of grew up with him, seeing what he did with his YouTube career. He went through a bunch of phases as to where he changed his hair color and whatnot. And now, like, I don't necessarily even like the videos he's making because they're all just scary video games. We haven't even seen a Try Not to Laugh challenge in like 2-3 years. So it's like he's changed, but that's just people in general. Like, we all change. And that's why I'm kind of against, like, the idea of, you know, being a false influencer, because you say you're gonna want to influence a mass amount of people to do a certain thing, but it's like you forget the one thing. It's like we're all different. Yeah, we may relate to some things with someone, but we're all different at the end of the day. And you know, I mean, I am trying to become an influencer, but I'm only trying to become an influencer so that I can tell people, it's like, take away all that materialistic bullshit that you have, and like, what are you? And I'm like, that's my fucking motto, honestly. Like, take away X and X, and what are you? That's gonna be what I'm advocating for. But unfortunately, there's just influencers out there that are just spilling out some bullshit or doing some random bullshit and not even necessarily giving a purpose or a lecture or a lesson to people to actually become better or to actually be themselves more. And that's just so annoying. And yes, it may sound like I'm hating on Aiden Ross, because, you know, how is he garnering so much attention from perhaps young males, and then he himself is still trying to learn off someone that does not even respect him and sees him as despicable? Like, I don't understand that. And the more attention that he gets, the more of a fucked up society we're going to have, as to where we don't know what the fuck we are. And that's why a bunch of us people that are 20 are trying to figure out what the hell are we. And I feel as if this is just for humanity in general. A lot of us go through, what the hell are we supposed to do? I mean, I was just talking to a 60-year-old a couple of days ago, and he said he was 20, he wanted to kill himself, but now that he's 60, he's like, wow, I didn't kill myself. And it was because of like some universal pull that actually didn't allow him to do that. And I'm like, I think in our 20s, we all go through it. If anything, we just have different ways to manipulate our words to sound more effective as we grow from generation to generation. That being said, again, stop being a fucking chicken. I might make a second video on this, because I've been trying to find better locations to make videos on, and normally, I mean, I'd be making a video over there, but it's fucking summer. There's a bunch of cockroaches, and I hate that. But whatever. All right, then. I'm gonna end it off here, because I don't want you guys sticking around for 20 minutes and then just clicking off. Like, I'd rather you guys actually stay engaged to a certain amount of time in the video, so that way you can actually hear out what I'm saying. So yeah. All right, guys. Take care. It's Saturday evening. Tomorrow's Sunday. Let's relax, enjoy our last day, for those of you that are stuck to the Monday through Friday, or if your work week still just consists of being in the weekday, so be it. Enjoy your time. Stay safe.